What's up guys, in this video we're going to be talking about a quick deal breakdown of one of the properties that I bought, and I want to break down this video because I feel like I've gotten so many people to reach out saying, hey, in my 20s, early 30s, I'm looking to buy my first investment property, talk to me about what I should be doing. So this video is for you. If you're looking to buy your first investment property and or you've bought investment property and you're wondering how to quickly run deals on your next one, this is actually going to be a 4-family, you're going to love this video, so let's check it out. What's up everybody, this is Henry Eisenstein here. If you don't know who I am, I've been a part of over $400 million worth of real estate and I'm only 28 years old, just turned 28 a few days ago. In this video, we're going to be talking about a deal breakdown of a 4-family property that I bought quite a number of years ago. This was a property that I actually lived in for quite some time. You're going to love this video. I bought this with an FHA loan. When it comes to FHA loans, real quick side note before we dive into this video, but FHA loans are literally the best thing you could possibly take advantage of if you've yet to buy a property. So if you are one of the people here who are listening to this video and you have not yet bought a property, period, this is going to be your first property that you're going to quote unquote live in. This is a perfect opportunity to take advantage of an FHA loan. No, this is not a push to work with any type of mortgage lender, but I am telling you, it is literally like a secret that nobody talks about. If you're looking to buy an investment property and you're okay with living in a multifamily, this is like the freaking bee's knees of all types of loans out there when it comes to buying your investment property. Because I'll tell you an example. Number one, you have a super low down payment. Number two, because of that low down payment, the amount of risk, number one, is minimal. The other side of the coin is not only is your risk minimal, but you're able to take massive leverage out on a piece of property essentially for very little carrying costs. My income on the property between the other 3 units, which were incredibly under rented, was only $4,000. I was bringing in $4,000 a month and my expenses was $5,000 a month. First and foremost, study what FHA loans are, speak to a mortgage lender, get pre-approved for an FHA loan. If you've yet to buy an investment property, I would do this 1,000 times over. And by the way, I don't care if you're in your early 30s and you're making $1 million a year and you're wondering how to buy investment properties. Yeah, you can go buy a 4-family with 25% down or more, but I'm just saying, like, you're just not going to get just an unbelievable terms you're going to get with an FHA loan if you don't live there. Anyways, this is a 4-family piece of property that I bought in a town called Red Bank, near where I lived. I was making a few $100,000 a year, like almost nearly $1 million a year, living at home with my family. I bought a 4-family property. I literally promised myself that, like, until I could truly qualify and find 2 things, right? Not only qualify, but also find the exact property I wanted to be in, the exact area I wanted to be in, I wasn't going to buy a property, okay? I was just waiting and waiting, being patient and prospecting until I found the property. So first and foremost, again, 4-family property in a town called Red Bank, New Jersey. You can Google it. I bought a 4-family piece of property a number of years ago. I found it as a for sale by owner. It was on the market for $750,000. $750,000 4-family property, which is actually a pretty good price per unit in this location. You take your price point, $750,000, divided by your 4 units, and you get your price per unit. So it's $190,000, which is, again, pretty decent in this area. This property, again, was listed for sale by owner and it was listed on Zillow. So it was listed on Zillow for sale by owner, and I saw it one night at like 11 o'clock at night. I actually inquired on Zillow that night, and then the next morning I called the number until I got them on the phone, which I think was like the 3rd try. And I said, hey, I'm a buyer. I'd be buying it for myself. I'm not just an investor looking to make a couple bucks. Like, again, I was talking down about investors because I want myself to look good. So I was like, when can I stop by the property? Within like a day of that, I got into the property. I made him an offer of full price, waiving inspections, waive appraisals, waive everything. Because honestly, I've toured hundreds of properties at that point, working with investors that I knew exactly what I wanted. And in this property, the cool part was that I was actually going to take over the quote unquote owner's unit. So the person who was living in that property or who was selling it actually lived in that property a number of years ago, and they had rented it out a little while ago, and that person was actually leaving. So it was actually a perfect case scenario. So I got like one of the only 2-bedroom units in the building. It was like it was actually 3 1-bedrooms and a 2-bedroom. Long story short, I made an offer right away. Again, I waived everything, full price. I didn't even care because I was like, this is a perfect property for me. And guess what? Here's the coolest part. I'm very close with my lender. So my lender gave me an awesome lender credit. I'll give you an example. You're wondering why a lender would do this? Is because me and him did 30 or 40 transactions a year every year for like 3-4 years straight. So it's like the amount of money that we've made together. I've done deals for him virtually for free, and he's done a lot of business and helped me out with a lot of my deals. So anyways, I appreciate him so much. He's like my brother. So anyways, if you're wondering how to get great opportunities like this, become close with your lender and make your lender a lot of freaking money, okay? Like if you make them a lot of money, they're going to want to support you. So anyways, I got a $10,000 lender credit, or a little bit more than that. Long story short, I was out of pocket maybe like $30,000, $32,000, something like that. But anyways, I bought the property for a very minimal out of pocket. This property was a super cool project for me because I was so excited. It was like the first property I was going to live in. Right? Like I was like, wow, this is super cool. Like first house I'm actually gonna live in. I got into the property, I gut renovated the apartment that I lived in. I lived in it for about a year. I was able to then get an offer on the property because I was like, okay, well, the market kind of shifted. And as you know, through COVID and the years following, like, and what ended up happening was the market shifted and this property went from 750 to like almost $1 million in value very, very quickly. And honestly, I know the market very well around here. Like 4 families are not really going to, like this type of 4 family was not going to sell for over $1 million anytime soon in the future, even if things keep increasing. It's just not going to happen. It needed a lot more updates. A lot of the tenants weren't going to leave. Like it just wasn't going to ever sell for that type of price. Like I just know numbers that well in this neighborhood. So I was like, okay, listen, if I'm going to get $1 million now, or if I'm going to sell it for $1 million or $1.05 million in 5 years, I might as well take my money and move it into something better. So I buy a property for like 30 grand out of pocket. I renovate my apartment, which only costs like, 25 to 30,000 bucks. So I end up renovating that apartment. I lived in it for a number of years. I increased the rents on a few of the other people. So again, here's the craziest part. To break down the numbers really quickly, okay? I bought it for $750,000. My down payment, my closing costs and everything was like 30 grand. My mortgage payment real quick was like 4,950 bucks. My rental income between the 3 apartments that was currently occupied on that property was $4,000 a month. And the tenants took care of a lot of the expenses except for the oil, which I know again was probably an extra 200 bucks average a month for me. So let's just call the payment total $5,150. Okay, so $5,150. I brought in $4,000 a month, so I was living at like $1,150 a month. Was my expenditures, okay? $1,150 a month to live in a 4-family property that was worth $750 to $800, $850, $900, and kept going up almost to $1 million over a few few years period of time, which is insane. So what ended up happening is I put it on the market just to see what would happen, and I got an offer for a number that I didn't think I was gonna get. So I ended up selling it. If you're buying a deal as an FHA loan, I want you to know something. As long as the deal makes decent sense, you should buy it, right? Where like I'm telling you right now, like it doesn't have to cash flow a ton today. But if the area that you're buying is not rent controlled, which is number one, is the biggest thing you want to pay attention to, okay? If you're buying a 4-family property with an FHA loan, make sure the area is not rent controlled because that is going to cause you trouble down the road, okay? Number one. Number two, make sure that you're typically buying a 4-family property in the best area you can. You want to stretch your FHA loan, which means like the most expensive property you can possibly qualify for is what you want to buy. Again, you're only putting down 3.5% and you can really only do it once, maybe twice in your life. So I would do it for like the biggest you possibly can, right? I was qualified for like, I think like $1 million, $1.2 million or something like that at the time. So I should have bought a little bit more expensive property, but again, in my area, there's not a lot of properties that are that expensive for a 4-family. So it was one of the most expensive ones that I could possibly find because there was a lot between 400, 500, 600. I bought one for 750 that ended up being worth $1 million in a few short years. So what I'm trying to explain to you guys is like really stretch it. Because the coolest part that I'm trying to explain here is that it's technically taxed as a primary residence. I mean, holy cow, do you understand that like if you sell a piece of property that you quote unquote live in, like is your primary residence, okay? And you live there for 2 years, you pay no income tax when you sell the property below a $250,000 net income. Do you understand how freaking insane that is? That means you can sell this property in 2 years and 1 month after you close on the property. You live in the property for 2 years and a month later you close on it and you make $245,000 on the property sale. That is tax-free money. That means over the last 2 years, that was an extra $120,000 average per year. For literally only 3.5% down plus 3.5% in closing costs. So at a worst case scenario, like what are you really putting down, right? Even if you bought $1 million deal, that's $70,000 to make $250,000. That is a freaking home run, baby. So anyways, this is why I'm saying stretch it because the opportunity to make more money is huge. What you want to know is that you want to be buying 4-family properties with more than 1 bedroom in each unit. Ideally, you don't want to buy studios. You want to be buying 1-bedroom units or 2-bedroom units. Because here's the thing real quick about tenants. If you're buying a property and they have 3-bedroom units, yes, the amount of money you're going to make in rent is way more, which I agree, which is why I'm saying buy larger units. However, 3 bedrooms or larger, you're going to have to realize they're going to have kids, right? So I'm not saying don't rent to people who have kids, but I am saying that you're going to have a lot more wear and tear on your unit. And you just need to understand that risk. So I'm not telling you not to buy it, but just understand that you're going to have a different type of clientele. There's a different type of clientele who's going to rent a 1-bedroom or a studio versus a 3-bedroom. Either you're going to sell it after your 2 years because you're going to get a tax-free gain, or
obviously, and by the way, if you're married, it's $500,000.
So you can have a $500,000 net taxable income off of the sale and pay no income tax. I mean, it's freaking amazing. Make sure you speak to your accountant. I'm not an accountant. I'm not trying to claim to be, but make sure you speak to your accountant. But yeah, just you can make a lot of money tax-free. What I am saying to you though is that you either sell it after your 2 years, as you keep it as a primary before you keep it as a rental, or you keep it as a rental for the next 10 or 20 or 30 years. You got to figure out what you want. Last thing I'm going to talk about is I've bought many properties and I'm looking for larger distressed commercial assets in the state of New Jersey, South Florida, and Texas. So if you're watching this video, a few things. Number one, I would typically recommend, if you're not buying an FHA deal and you're looking to just buy your first investment property, buy the largest type of property you possibly can, and don't be afraid of using partners, because you're going to be able to leverage what you and your partner can do together and all the money you can raise together. I just think it's it's a huge thing to do, where like you can find a distressed piece of property, and listen, you can either sell it to somebody like myself, an investor who wants to buy the deal, and you can make a decent commission like we've been talking about. Or what I recommend that you do is that you try to find an investor that you can do the deal with and buy the deal together. Anyways, listen, if you find a great off-market opportunity that's a larger multifamily distress in New Jersey, Texas, or South Florida, I want to be a part of the deal with you. I want you to basically try to sell me the deal. That'd be awesome, right? As a real estate agent, or anybody who's listening to this video and you're trying to look how to buy more deals or invest in more deals. Number one, you can sell it to an investor like me. Number two, you can find an investment partner similar to me, where again, if the deal makes a lot of sense, I could possibly even try to cut you in on the deal, and we can become partners in one day in the future. So I'm looking at buying much larger commercial properties. Typically, I don't even like buying less than 10 units, which even to me is a little bit small if it's out of state. In Jersey, I'll buy 10 units if it's a great deal. But ideally, all over the country, we're looking at really like 30 or 40 units at a minimum, all the way up to 200 or 300 units. Warehouse space, we're looking at a minimum of like 40 or 50,000 square foot warehouses, all the way up to 500,000 or 1 million square feet. We'll also look at self-storage. So if you have any one type of deals, make sure you hit me up. I'd love to do some business with you. I love and appreciate you guys. Hope this video helps, and I'm always here to support you guys in the future. See you in the next video. Take care.